All right. Next up, we have a masterclass from a very powerful woman, Lerato. So good to see you. All right, Lerato is founder and CEO of African Ambition Consulting Agency with a twist. We'll find out more about the twist. An all-star female consulting agency based in Rosebank. That's where they started this business. Bold entrepreneurs. The specialities are like marketing, events, talent, training, corporate wellness, and she's going to give us a masterclass. Teach us on maintaining relationships and building teams. She's with us in the building, looking so ever good. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's put our hands together for Lerato Kadiaka. Come on, let's show some love. How are you?
Tobela. I'm so excited to be here. This is home for me. And just know if you're like from around here, or you are homeboy, you're home girl. But I'm really excited to be here. And I think when I was, asked, like, and I was like, Polokwane. Yeah, it's only 2.5 hours drive. I'm like, Polokwane is not 2 hours drive. I know that. But I'm so glad that we actually made it. I'm really, really glad. And actually also to be in this space. So as I was coming in, I wasn't actually even conscious about it. And then they're like, you actually wore the right colors also. So Nedbank, this one is for you. So as Busisa has mentioned, we are based go Rosebank, and the twist part. So sometimes like you start a business and you're like, I don't want to have a lot of services because I'm going to confuse my people. Let me rather have just one service. But also at the same time, you're like, but I want to have multiple products in my business, So then we thought, no, it's a consulting agency with the twist. The twist comes in. So I look at you from you starting your business. When you start your business, you need a product, right? So you need someone to help you model what sort of products or services you're going to have and offer to your clients. That's one. Number two, you need resources. And those resources are the team, right? And then on top of that, you also need to train your team. But also outside of training your team, there's also that element, the wellness part that comes into it. So then I thought to myself, okay, all my life I've been gathering all these skills, Now it's about time that I started my own business, and then let me offer my services to those that would need them the most. And hence, that's why African Ambition Consulting Agency. Why African Ambition? Because I'm very ambitious with the things that I want to achieve. And I know people define soft life in their own different ways, but because of my ambition, I know how I'll get to the soft life, So hence African Ambition. But I truly believe that as Africans, we need to really push ourselves and live the ambition that we want to live and be the business people that we need to, be the companies that we need to, because only us can actually employ our communities. Only us can actually make this economy a better economy. So hence, that's why African Ambition. For now, it is an all-star female agency, but I'm slowly for surely, I've just included one guy, Oletu, amazing young man. So I'll get there. Slowly for surely, guys, I'll definitely get there. So I was given a topic to say, Lerato, let's talk about building teams. And I thought to myself, building teams. We are 6 years old now. May actually is our 6 years having to have opened our shop. And I thought to myself, how am I actually going to have this opportunity to share my story? Started off 2017. And just before I jumped over, I looked for about to graduate or just graduated student. And she was studying marketing and a bit of HR. And I was like, let me start this journey with her. Why I love young people. I think you guys have amazing ideas, guys. I think your way of thinking and how some of us think, it's amazing, and we are actually able to complement each other. So then started off with her, and then after a year and a half, because you know, like when you're good, right? And then she was like, oh, Lerato, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to like move now, it's time. And I was like, you done? I'm like, no! But also the same part of me is like, you know what? I've done all I could. I've given her the skills. Now it's time to release her to the jungle. Did that. Then I was a one-woman show again. Brought in another lady. She was a bit experienced, coming from HR and talent. Okay, that's my team, guys. Oh, can you guys see anything? No. Can you? Oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah, so that's my team. That's who we are. We build women who build businesses that are building Africa. You know, I'm very, very passionate about building stuff. So there we were with this lady. But also at the same time, I like working with people who are like forward thinkers. And then I thought to myself, okay, this lady, like, because guys, like when you're running a business, you test people. Are they for you or are they not for you? What ideas are they bringing on the table, or are they just there, oh, baba bereki, you know? And I honestly, truly believe that when you really want to run sufficient teams and you want to take your business to the next level, Oscar hire babereki. Babereki ha ba ye ko ABSA, ha ba ye ko difemeng, ke babereki bao. But for us that are starting businesses, you want people that are multi-skilled, even though that you can actually multi-skill them yourself. So, next slide, next slide. Who's controlling the? Okay, sure. So there's my journey there. So I started off in 2017, all the way to, okay. Oh, there. But how does it work?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
So this is to go back, this is to go forward.
Ah, perfect. All right. Thank you. Okay, so that looks like my agenda. And I think over here is just telling my story in terms of how we started and how we started growing. So COVID happened. When COVID happened, obviously we all went home. And then I told the lady that, you know what, sorry, Sissy, we can't really continue with this. Before then, I've worked with other two ladies also. But, you know, in everything that you do, you always need to also, Luena, check yourself, right? Check yourself in terms of, because, Hodi, you're right, I had very high expectations. And I also had for myself, but also very high expectations for my team. And unfortunately, they will just give you bare minimum, limon, you know? And then I thought, you know what, I need to regroup. And then come COVID, 2019, 2020, 2021 was very clear and very deliberate in terms of what I wanted. And I knew that this is actually going to turn my business around on another level. Very focused in terms of my offering, and narrowed it down to say, I enjoy talent. I enjoy taking someone, putting them into an organization, and also making sure that I have a good relationship with that organization so that that person wa hola in that organization. My background has always been marketing and branding. So I started my career go ad agencies, and then ended up go financial services. And I knew that the passion of taking brands from where they are and growing them to another level, it's something that I've always been passionate about. Then I really focused into that offering. And then from there, I thought to myself, you know what? I love wellness because in everything that we do, guys, as entrepreneurs, as we're all here, we need to look after ourselves mentally, spiritually, and physically. Still struggling with the physical part. However, we'll get there. So if you are not healthy yourself, how are you going to be an amazing entrepreneur that you want to be, right? Okay. So just for a show of hands, ne? Ke bo mang ba leng gore ba bereka ba le di go company ya bona? Please raise your hand. Just the one show, one woman, one man show. Okay, quite a few. Who, excluding yourself, has 2 team members? Okay, all right. 4, 6, 10? Okay, we have a 10. All right. So the reason I'm asking this is because in every team, someone brings something into the team, right? So hence, that's why I'm asking, who is who in your team? And the reason I'm also asking this is because it also speaks to how are you going to take off when you have started your business. So what does it take to start a business? Or even actually even starting your own team? So you as a business owner, you need to define the strengths. How? I'm a great researcher, okay? I like investigating, I like to know what is happening, you know? I also like to know what my competitors are doing. I'm very much interested to know who's also busy around me, because these people can either make me or break me. That's one. Number 2, whether you like it or not, as a business person, you have to mingle with people. No matter how uncomfortable it is, you need to make it comfortable. So if you are shy and you would like to start a business, make sure that you put yourself in spaces that will make you very uncomfortable. Whether you being active, whether being active wherever, but just make sure that you are seen and you are always in front of people. So I'm going to be sharing with you, especially those the teams, go the business in Jalena, or you have different types of people that would be in your team. So while we're waiting for the PowerPoint to show, so in your team, try to make sure you have that one person who is an investigator. You are able to sit around and say, you know what, I would like to tap into this industry, but I don't know what it looks like. That person will then investigate from the top to bottom, all the way, no stones left unturned. Why? Because that person will be able to then assist you in terms of what sort of information you would need, right? You need an investigator, you need an implementer. I'm not going to put them by order, I'm just throwing them out there. You need an implementer. Why you need an implementer? Because remember, you find people like they will do things for the sake of doing things. But when you have an implementer, they're able to take your vision and implement your vision. You're right? And the best thing you can do with those people is to ensure you support them. Because just because they are implementers, it doesn't mean that they don't need you or guidance. But you need to give them guidance. So it's very important that as they implement, you are checking on them. How are they doing, right? Because in most cases, you know, and I know a lot of us get this wrong. You feel like now that you're a boss, you have arrived, now you want to micromanage people. Who of you have been in corporate and being micromanaged? Please raise your hand. How horrible was that experience? I mean, it's like, now you're an adult. Now there's like this adult, same age, but you know what I'm saying? So, and those people like really kill you. But I find that also when you're an entrepreneur, you are able to actually read very quickly and be like, I'm not going to last here, because this is not the sort of environment that I'm for, you know? So it's very important as a leader, as we are sitting here, and those that are aspiring leaders, to ensure that you give your people autonomy. But giving them autonomy doesn't mean that you must just let them be. When you are having your check-ins, how far are we? What do we need to do? Whom should we be speaking to? And you continuously track on that. If you're meeting this week, next week, let's track on that. Why? Because that's how you get to know as to what is what and what are people working on. Because there are people who are busy, mara busy, you know? And unfortunately, whether we like it or not, sitting in this room, if you are an entrepreneur, I think it would be very hard for me to want to buy a nice Porsche Cayenne unless I lend a nice tender tomorrow or today. But my employees, or those that have employees, like, they have pay slips and they are good with the bank. Netbank is always ready to take them on, you know? Mara, people like us, it's like, you're always the last one to pay yourself, Ankar. And your people are always the first. So it's very important that as you're building your team, you then align it to what is it that I want to achieve with this team? What is it that I want from this team? And also, I will ask you guys, who of you cannot afford to build a team because of the cost of a resource? Please raise your hand. Okay. Afford? No, you can't, right? Is that why some of you guys are still 1 2 1 2? Okay. It is very costly to get resource, and especially when you're a small business, because resource is very expensive, right? And especially when you want to grow to the next level, because you find that, I'll give you an example. I'm in the process of looking for an operations manager. Why? Because I'm at that level where I want to do business here. And guess what? In most cases, when you're starting out as an entrepreneur, you are here in meetings, but you still need to implement, right? So now it makes it very hard for you to then say, I wish I could have 10 clients. Because you can't have 10 clients. You can't satisfy those clients. So which is better? Let me stick with my 2 for now. And then it's 5 years later, you're still stuck with that 2. Is that healthy for a business, guys? Not even, right? So it's very important to then get to a place where you're like, okay, how am I going to find my team? And what means am I going to do to find my team? But also, more than anything, how am I planning to build and develop my team? So over here, I just shared like the different types of team members, you know? So you have an implementer, you have that one that is a coordinator, that just coordinates everyone. You know that one, well, you're still in corporate, we'll always make sure everything. That person is a coordinator because they know what is what, you know? So you need to align yourself. You need also a collaborator who's always going to make sure that, okay, they said this is the assignment. Okay, bring your part. Let's do this. Let's make sure we make things happen. And I must say, you know, coming to tea is always like the best event for me. Why? Because everything is so well coordinated, you know? And I think whether we like it or not, like any house, banal discurables, so on. But when you know that this is what we want to put out and this is the brand that we are, this is what you get, guys. So I think when we're talking about a team, sometimes we must not even go to the textbooks and go and ask Jorge, how are you doing it, bro? Like, how are you doing it, you know? And also ask Timia Hai, Jorge, how are things back in the ranch, you know? So we have all these types of people that are going to contribute in the team. And of course, you're going to have slackers, guys. Whether you like it or not, slackers are there. But slackers. Actually, for me, it's like, I will let you slack, and then there'll be a time where I say, enough is enough, we can't do this. Why? Because when you're building a team, you want to build with people that share the vision, share the passion that you have. Even though you are at a certain level, but you need to make sure that it's people that are for the business, that want to see the business grow, because at the end of the day, if they're not putting in the work, how am I going to be confident to invoice to client if you know? So it's very important to align your team to the things that needs to be done, and actually be honest with them, guys, the business, this is where we are standing, but this is where we want to go. And this is how we need to go there. And this is the way I know that we need to go there, you know? And I think one of the things that I enjoyed about Hoodie was that, you know, sometimes putting yourself out there and doesn't really work. You just need to just do right by one. And then once you've done right by one, everything else just unfolds, you know? So I think what you need to take away from here is that, yes, building a team is not easy, but you need to open up yourself to say, this is the kind of team, rather, build it. And even if it means I get to model that team, because it's very important, you then model it your way. So part of my business is doing the fingerprints, you know. So, you know, like when you go for job interviews, you need to get your fingerprints checked, criminal and credit, right? So, and hence that's why our office is in Rosebank. So there's a young lady that I got, and she was a learner. Because remember, I'm building a team now. So I thought, okay, let's start off the learnership route. Let me speak to people that are in training. Who can they give me? So I spoke to the school. They were like, no, we had 2 students that you can interview. Then you can actually then decide from there. The 2 students came. One was female, one was male. And when they came in, I won't lie to you, I really liked the male student. I really, really liked him. The challenge was, and I'm going to be very honest, he was very, I don't know like the political correct word, but I felt as though like he won't be able to communicate to the clients the way I would love to. And I thought to myself, I also don't want to, when he's speaking to clients, I'm always overlooking to check, what is he saying now? Is there, is there, or is there for, you know? And I thought, but also someone like that, if I had the time, I would have easily said, come on board, we'll train you as you move along. But this is what I do every time I interview someone. I say, are you reading? What channels are you watching on TV? What content are you feeding yourself? Okay. Do this some more. Read more books, watch a lot of content that's like this. Because I want you now to make sure that you add on to your vocab. So that when you are engaging with people, only more words in there. So I took the lady. So the lady, when she came in for the first interview, she had like very long braids. Like, you know those ones, the young ones. And then we met, and then the second time I was like, no, my environment doesn't allow for those long braids, so I would need you to do something about it. And no, your long nails are just way too long for me, and for myself and my clients, I don't think we'll be comfortable. And again, we are carrying these values, so can I ask going forward, this is how you dress, this is how you do things. And luckily she listened, and she came on board. So at the time, she was a learner. We continued with our journey, and then, because I was clear with my vision, and then I brought in another amazing lady. She's here with us. Her name is Ayanda. She's our digital content consultant. And we walked this journey. So the one thing that you want from someone that you bring in your team, you want someone that's going to bring ideas to the team. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Okay. Is that it? You're only giving me that? Lord. Okay. Okay then. So I'll just skip a lot of things. So she came on board, and now I'm busy training another 2 students that are coming from, what's this, college, the Johannesburg Central College. And I'll get to how you find these teams and how you build these teams. So if you're building teams and you don't have the monies to actually get that resource monies, you can try yes, you can try Harambe, you can actually try Disitas, right? Yes, it's a youth employment services. You get graduates, those that are already graduated or doing their final year, they can come in and assist you in your business, and then they get a stipend, you give them an opportunity. There's also Harambe. Harambe also does the same thing. And then the Citas also. Remember the Citas in the grants, and then they have those training companies, they come in, and then they're always looking for companies that are going to host the students, right? So now you can have these young people come into your organization and actually be hosted at your organization to actually help you with admin, running of the business, and while they're getting their own stipend. And I think as entrepreneurs, guys, we need to take opportunities of this. Why? Because we cannot afford resources, but we are able and contribute to the society at large to provide them with the skills. So the 2 students I know, one of them was doing business management. Business management are amazing because those are multi-skilled people. They do business, marketing, HR, and. So you are able to throw them around in the business. So you must make sure that, again, you interview them and then check if they are aligned to what you're doing. You want to train your people also. There's ways you can train your people. There's Udemy. There is Microsoft, especially if you're going the digital route. You know, there's so many courses that you can take them on, and some of these courses, a lot of them are for free, you know. So it's very important that as you are building this team, you also then say, I want to be connected to my team, but professional connection, so that when things go sour, things are still on point. But more than anything, I will touch on the brand. Do you guys know your brand? Are you guys comfortable in your brand? Can you tell people about your brand? Comfortably so. That's perfect. Because if you don't know your brand, it means that you won't know where you are heading to. So you need to own your brand. You need to know that, you know what, I'm African Ambition, this is what I look like, and this is how I want to look like going out to the market. And once you build your brand so well, it's easy for people to come in and buy into your brand. Because at the end of the day, when I speak to my team, yes, it could be African Ambition, but they're also buying into Lerato, the brand. How am I treating them? And am I an understanding person, or am I going to be that person that always wants them to be at work every day? But again, I'm a very flexible person. But if you're going to bullshit me, honey, I will see it. So I'm able to be like, you are bullshitting me right now, you know? So make sure that you do that. So these are our details, as I've been giving 2 minutes to go. But I think more than anything, guys, make sure that you know your brand, you know what you're all about, so that the people that are coming on board know they're coming and buying into your brand, and they make your brand and take your brand to another level. And also, again, it's not hard to find resources. Make sure you bring in the young ones so that they help you build your brand. And then through helping you build your brand, as you are now having those conversations with the big boys, then they are able to make sure that the contracts are coming